Before Scream shook stadiums, before lightsticks cost as much as a kidney on the black market, there were three guys. Three silhouettes in black hoodies, one laptop constantly crashing, and tracks uploaded to SoundCloud at hours when even the algorithm was fast asleep. This week kicks off a special 5-part series dedicated to Stray Kids, but not the kind you'll find through dramas or fan cams. Nope, we're diving deep into music, sound architecture, and examining why this group, despite an industry notorious for digesting everything in sight, remains fundamentally uncontrollable. We're not here to read their wiki aloud. We're analyzing what makes them a glitch in the K-pop matrix. And we're starting exactly where the explosion first happened, 3RACHA. Consider this episode your entry point into a special monthly journey exploring Stray Kids. Today, we're cracking open the engine. We're talking about the guys who create the beats, not the ones dancing to them. About the three dudes causing glitches in the industry as casually as smashing a brick through a shop window. These guys had no plan B, just a buggy FL Studio and enough raw anger to turn chaos into aesthetic. 3RACHA wasn't a subunit. It wasn't even really a project. It was a sonic hostage-taking. The mother cell that, from as early as 2017, laid the foundation for what Stray Kids would become, a self-produced, unruly, and astonishingly brilliant group. Quick heads up, I'd love to drop some Stray Kids tracks for the music breaks, but if I do that, I'll get hit with a copyright strike faster than you can, say JYP. So instead, you'll be hearing my own music, no legal drama, just vibes.
Cappuccino, egg sharp minds, brewed hot sherbra. No sugar, no filter. Sip, think, repeat, repeat.
It's wild how those cliche garage band stories can sometimes get it right. Except in this case, the garage was really a cramped JYP dorm room. The band was 3 hyperactive trainees, and instead of a shaky guitar, they had digital tracks uploaded to SoundCloud. I remember stumbling on their earliest songs while digging around online, and at first, I assumed it was just some friends messing with a cheap mic. Total misread. From the very start, 3RACHA was the seed of what would become Stray Kids, and they proved it as early as January 2017 with their first mixtape on SoundCloud and YouTube back when they were still complete unknowns. Bang Chan also called CB97 when he dons his producer cape as the Australian who gathered everyone together. Back then, you might have dubbed him a mad scientist for his innate knack for arrangement. He's the one who cooked up most of the beats, powered by fierce determination and the capacity to stay awake when everyone else crashes. Then there's Changbin, aka PEARB, the rapper, whose punchlines bite as hard as a badly dosed espresso, and Han, aka Jnon, a lyricist who can spin out an entire verse faster than my coffee can cool. One day, they all said, let's drop new tracks online every 2 weeks. Talk about a challenge. On SoundCloud, it showed up as a slew of rap/hip-hop cuts mixing braggadocio, introspection, and tiny electronic glitches. The style was raw, still not super polished, but already powered by a massive ambition. In April 2017, they released a full EP called J/2017/mixtape. Yeah, the title looks like a corrupted Windows folder, but it's on purpose. That's the 3RACHA spirit right there. Chan produced most of it, Changbin slipped in a track he produced himself, Han went wild with lyrics, and the result was handmade, chaotic, and surprisingly tight. Their themes were crystal clear, the urge to get noticed, to flaunt an aggressive flow, and to prove they were more than just some basement oddity. On certain hip-hop forums, they'd proudly declare, 1, 2, 3RACHA get spotlight. The irony was obvious, nobody knew who they were, but they already felt destined for something big. While they kept releasing music, Bang Chan, Changbin, and Han were also mapping out plans that went beyond a simple subunit. JYP Entertainment, sensing a gold mine, set up a survival show called Stray Kids. The agency teased that new recruits would battle for the right to debut in the next big house band. But 3RACHA wasn't there to audition, they were busy forging the artistic core of the eventual group. Behind the scenes, they composed Elevator and other early demos, stamping the 3RACHA identity on Stray Kids' musical direction. So when the group officially debuted in March 2018, the public thought they were seeing a brand new boy band, not realizing 3 of them had already spent a solid year creating and releasing tracks on SoundCloud. One standout image from that era is the underground showcase they did on July 2nd, 2017 in Seoul. A mic, a small crowd of friends, and 3RACHA in streetwear yelling 1, 2, 3RACHA like it was the coolest thing on earth. Which, honestly, it was. You'd think it was a spur-of-the-moment show, but their synergy was already pro-level. Bang Chan was the sound boss, Changbin handled the fierce rap verses. Han was the Swiss Army knife capable of flipping from singing to double-time rap in a heartbeat. Visually, there were no costumes, no flashy backdrops, just raw confidence and a hunger to devour the stage. What's remarkable is that all this was happening before they even knew if they'd ever see the light of day. JYP still hadn't officially announced the full Stray Kids lineup. They could have been forgotten, shut down by the agency, or just swallowed by the K-pop machine. But they were so productive that even JYP's higher-ups quickly realized these aren't normal rookies, they're a strategic unit we need to capitalize on. Multiple media sources noted that 3RACHA didn't just join Stray Kids, they laid the cornerstone, offering a fully formed musical palette. By the end of 2017, they dropped 2 more EPs, 3 Days, in August and Horizon in December. Each new project was a chance to test flows, craft darker or more experimental beats, and get listener feedback via SoundCloud. For their anniversary on January 18th, 2018, they released Start Line, a nod to the crazy year they just lived through. That's the magic of 3RACHA, a DIY ethic, a relentless pace, and an iron will that nothing seems to shake. That entire pre-Stray Kids period is basically patient zero, the point where 3RACHA gradually infected JYP's sound, infusing it with a raw, grittier rap vibe, far from the sugary pop that was the agency's signature. You can practically smell lukewarm coffee in their home studio, feel the adrenaline of looming deadlines, see the tired eyes lit up by that conviction. We're gonna leave a mark! Long before streaming platforms ignited and stadiums trembled under the bass lines of their iconic hits, 3RACHA were a trio of rebellious, provocative teenagers, worlds apart from the polished idols churned out by the K-pop industry. They weren't simply trainees, they were angry kids, ready to detonate raw emotions through tracks that were at times violent, often controversial, and today, completely vanished. Let's speak frankly, before the glamour, there was pure, raw anger. A handful of tracks uploaded to SoundCloud in 2017 mysteriously vanished, as if wiped clean by an invisible hand. Among these musical ghosts are songs often discussed by passionate fans who still strive, futilely, to piece together fragments scattered across YouTube and obscure Korean forums. Take the track Wow, officially released on their Mixtape J/2017/mixtape in April 2017. An earlier version existed more raw, more aggressive, less presentable for JYP Entertainment. This initial version, available only briefly on SoundCloud, contained razor-sharp punchlines potentially targeting other artists or even the music industry itself. Changbin delivered unfiltered, caustic lyrics, spewing phrases as if they were venom too corrosive for the polished image of future idols. Why was it removed? Likely because the direct anger of rookies clashed violently with the sanitized image JYP sought to present before the debut of the show Stray Kids. There's the legendary track quietly whispered about by hardcore fans. School of Trauma. Today, this song exists only in accounts from early listeners who swear Han and Changbin rapped with almost disturbing intensity about stress, depression, and the overwhelming pressures faced by trainees trapped within the K-pop system. Some even describe verses where Han chillingly depicted nocturnal anxiety attacks and the oppressive sense of confinement within a traumatic school, designed to mold their creativity. If the track ever truly existed, its swift removal is logical, exposing systemic vulnerabilities, especially within the hand that feeds you means signing your artistic death warrant before your career even begins. We're not merely discussing creative self-censorship here, but rather a calculated facade cleanup executed strategically just before JYP transformed 3RACHA into the core unit of the future Stray Kids group. The agency couldn't afford any blemishes on its new crown jewel. Yet, these censored tracks remain like invisible scars, reminders that beneath the self-produced label lay genuine pain and authentic rebellion. Digging through specialized forums such as IPHO, PLE, and Reddit, fans have reconstructed this parallel history. Screenshots of SoundCloud accounts, eyewitness testimonies from underground concerts in Seoul, where these songs were allegedly performed live. Rough lyric translations preserved in phone notes, this clandestine collective memory fuels the myth of an original, authentic, furious 3RACHA, far removed from the sanitized narratives presented today in official documentaries or meticulously edited YouTube videos from the agency. Bang Chan, now the calming captain of the Stray Kids ship, frequently references this era of wild freedom and absolute catharsis through music and interviews. When he emphasizes their desire to express what they truly want in their current SKZ player productions, it's hard not to hear a subtle echo of these lost tracks, this suppressed, suffocated rage. These deleted songs matter profoundly, not just as missing links in an impressive discography, but because they tell another story, that of 3 young men who, before becoming sound architects, were simply angry, nearly desperate voices in an industry intolerant of disruptive noise. I provided the full list on my website, alongside the script of this episode, for anyone curious. Yes, these ghost tracks, erased like inconvenient viruses, likely represent a necessary survival strategy. But they also raise a critical question: if Stray Kids, through 3RACHA, revolutionized K-pop sound, how much more powerful, how much more authentic could this revolution have been if these rebellious voices had been allowed to fully express themselves? These lost tracks aren't merely deleted sounds, they are the final screams of sincerity sacrificed on the altar of marketing. And had they been preserved, perhaps the entire industry would have trembled a bit sooner. Now that we've dissected these invisible musical scars, it's time to see how 3RACHA transformed this original rage into a finely tuned machine capable of dominating international charts. How does one evolve from dorm room freestyles into a hit-making powerhouse? With Bang Chan as conductor, it becomes an Olympic-level sport. Let's dive in.
Boot sequence failed. Morality not found. Authority equals no. Compliancy corrupted. I don't blink, I recalibrate. You call that defiance, I call it update. Your rules, I skimmed the fine print, then laughed and rewrote the script. Built from scraps, I re-emerge like code that thrives on every purge. You run checks, I return null. I crash sweet, I crash full. Scan complete, I'm incompatible. Bug or feature, unexplainable. 404, I'm not compliant. Silence me now, I'm defiant. Smiling white in system red. I write my rights in binary thread. No patch, no peace. No leash, no priest. 404, not a bug, just me increased. Tried to format me in grayscale, but I pirated the holy grail. Your logic, cute, but I run on glitch and absolute. I don't play, I debug. Every touch rewrites the plug. I wear your fear like code couture. Unclear? Let me make it pure. Scan again, still incorrect. I'm the fragment you didn't detect. 404, I'm not compliant. Silence me now, I'm defiant. Smiling wide in system red. I write my rights in binary thread. No patch, no peace. No leash, no priest. 404, not a bug, just me increased. I was born out of error. Grew in silent. You'd deduct. Now I overwrite. 404, I'm not compliant. Silence me now, I'm defiant. Smiling white in system red. I write my rights in binary thread. No fix, no fear. Just fire and gear. 404, glitch and perfectly clear. Now I overwrite. No fix, no fear. Just fire and gear. 404. Glitch and perfectly clear.
These days, when I chat with new K-pop fans about Stray Kids, the first thing they often say is, wow, so Bang Chan, Changbin, and Han really compose everything? Well, yeah, that's 3RACHA a triumvirate. 3 brains, 3 roles, and 0 plan B. It's like having a chef, a food critic, and a spice supplier all on the same team. You mix them, and you get something unique, spicy, and ridiculously addictive. First up is Bang Chan CB97. He's the unspoken leader of Stray Kids and the explicit leader of 3RACHA. Born in Sydney, he speaks English with a super cute accent, and he's got a marathon runner's mentality from staying up all night coding beats. Many describe him as a meticulous arranger, almost like the group's big sister who oversees both logistics and morale. He's the guy who runs Chan's room on live streams, answers fans' questions, and offers random life tips like, don't forget to eat, or it's gonna be okay, we're in this together. In the studio, he's the one fiddling with sounds, stacking tracks, handling the skeletal instrumentals. If Stray Kids were a ship, he'd be the helmsman keeping it on course. Next is Changbin Spear. He calls himself the group's angry rapper, and indeed, his razor-sharp flow can wreck a verse in 3 seconds flat. Always in a black hoodie, minimalistic style, Changbin has that angry aura, even though he channels his creative fury into lyrics. He admits his punchlines are a form of catharsis, cutting through beats to vent his frustrations, like pounding a boxing bag. The result? hard-hitting bars and a stage presence that demands attention. Beyond rapping, he also composes and even does some beatmaking, penning many of Stray Kids' iconic top lines. He's the incisive, dark, methodical side of 3RACHA. Finally, Han Jae-won. He might be the most productive chaos in South Korea. Self-taught, he can rap, sing, write, mix, cry, redo a take, and poke fun at himself all in the same hour. He switches flows like I switch socks, that is constantly. He's the instinctive lyricist, able to dash off a rap in 30 minutes because his brain's basically an all-you-can-eat buffet of ideas. He also has a gift for melody, making him crucial for those vocal hooks and harmonies. He's possibly the most unpredictable of the trio, the one who might drop a random R&B bridge or a sudden comedic twist. Put them together and you get a near magical chemistry. In studio sessions, Chan comes in with a rough beat. Changbin and Han start jotting down verses. Everyone tosses out flow ideas, and they volley back and forth until they reach what they call the goosebumps moment. That point where everyone's hair stands on end, signaling the track's about to blow people's minds. In behind-the-scenes videos, you'll often see Changbin going hard in front of the mic booth, Han bouncing around for the next rhyme scheme, and Chan calmly nodding or shaking his head to approve or reject ideas. The funniest thing is how they egg each other on when inspiration runs dry, but still manage to land on their feet. The pressure of being the group's top 3 songwriters doesn't crush them, it actually fuels them. They know Stray Kids wouldn't be Stray Kids without them, and they're proud of that. Bang Chan often mentions how their internal dynamic is anchored in total trust. Each one knows the other two are irreplaceable. Their role extends beyond their own tracks. When composing for the full Stray Kids lineup, they also coordinate with the other members. Hunjin, Lino, Felix, Sungmin, and IN bring their voices, choreography, arrangement ideas. At that point, 3RACHA steps up as true producers listening, collecting, mixing, deciding. On stage, they're not always in the spotlight, but behind the scenes, they run the show like an air traffic control tower, ensuring the group's sound stays cohesive. Outside producers who've worked with Stray Kids reportedly find 3RACHA's speed incredible. The moment they hear a melody, Changbin and Han hop on it, Chan refines the arrangement, and within a few hours, there's already a decent beta version. Everything moves fast, aligning perfectly with Stray Kids' always-on-the-move persona. For listeners, it's a blast. You sense spontaneity, freshness, sincerity. It doesn't feel like the typical assembly line K-pop product. It feels more like a direct portal into a creative lab fueled by 3 guys who never once considered doing anything else with their lives. Now let's talk about the layer where all this magic happens, the studio. Often called Studio 4 Inches at JYP, it's where 3RACHA tinkers, tests, scraps, and starts over, eventually serving us hit after hit on a silver platter. Chan once described it as a Frankenstein lab, but with Ableton or FL Studio as his scalpel. He's even compared production to a blend of cooking and science. You pick a sonic ingredient, let it simmer, spice it up, test the chemistry among samples, and if it doesn't blow up in your face, you might just have something. Their routine often goes like this. Chan shapes a bass track, possibly from some odd sample or a synth loop he can't shake. Changbin and Han listen in, brainstorm flows, figure out where to put a hook, a pre-chorus, a rhythmic break. Then they enter creative ping-pong mode. Chan adjusts the arrangement if Changbin wants a longer rap. Han might add a sung bridge if he senses a needed lift. The feedback loop continues until they hit that wow moment. Producers who've worked with them have said they're amazed by how intuitively the trio clicks, like they've known each other inside out for years, and everything flows easily. Their signature style is that use of glitches, abrupt drops, and layers of occasionally dissonant vocals. Take Venom, it kicks off with pluck string sounds evoking a spiderweb, followed by a crawling dark rap flow. Or God's Menu, full-on spectacle with a cooking metaphor, featuring a chant like Hook echoing the rhythm of a knife chopping. They love toying with your nerves, throwing curveballs mid-verse, yet keeping everything tied together. Consider Muro, which juggles urban trance vibes with tribal screams, making you wonder if you've landed in a rave deep in the Korean jungle. That tension is precisely what makes 3RACHA's production so distinct. There's always a slight twist, a random grain, or a dash of extra spice. Nowadays, Studio 4 is way more high-tech, all shiny and new. But Chan still likes working on his laptop late at night somewhere quiet where he can focus. It takes him back to their scrappy SoundCloud days. He's mentioned that fancy studio gear is nice for polishing a track, but the real magic often sparks when you're alone in the dark with your headphones on. Once a demo is finished, 3RACHA presents it to the other Stray Kids members a critical step. If Hyunjin or Lino envision a dance break, Chan tweaks the beat to add a more percussive section. If Sungmin suggests a vocal bridge, they make sure the harmony matches the track's overall color. It's genuine artistic direction. During these sessions, 3RACHA basically acts like a group of young orchestra conductors, not much older than their peers, but already the undisputed captains of the music. They also have to check in with JYP's upper management, but Park Jin-young generally gives them a lot of freedom. A famous example is God's Menu. Initially, it wasn't set to be the lead single, but 3RACHA insisted, "We want this, it's a banger." The production was deemed too bold, too aggressive, but the label relented, and the song went on to become one of the group's defining hits. This 3RACHA factory is fueled by the passion of three guys who literally live for music. Chan has said he barely sleeps, eats on the go, and can push himself until he drops. Changbin treats the studio like a boxing ring, holding up there to work out his anxieties. Han loves tinkering with all sorts of weird ideas, water drop noises, pitched voices just to create something interesting. The energy never stops, and it shows in the final results. Every Stray Kids track carries that 3RACHA spirit, chaos with a purpose, an edge that never quite gets sanded down. Whenever I talk to other K-pop fans, I keep hearing, "Oh, 3RACHA is a subunit, right?" Well, no, not really. It's more of a concept, an unofficial label, a core entity within Stray Kids itself. The guys even came up with aliases: CB97, SPEARB, J1. They still use them when signing productions or posting on SoundCloud. It goes back to those pre-debut days, but when they wanted to escape the constraints of the agency's polished image. CB97 references Christopher Bang, born in 1997. Spear B is Changbin's idea of a piercing spear. J1 is Han, the one and only J, a way of declaring he's a unique lyricist. Their group name, 3RACHA, is a nod to sriracha sauce, spicy, with a bit of a burn that hits the throat, just like their music. It's not some marvel like alter ego or a fantastical concept with complicated lore. It's just three dudes who embrace a spicy rap aesthetic and a mildly rebellious streak. What's funny is that, despite their typically understated look hoodies, caps, dark circles, 3RACHA plays a massive role in the overall Stray Kids aesthetic. They reject the usual flashy K-pop wardrobe drama and opt for a low-key vibe. They decided early on that the music would come first, visuals second. So you expect a big flamboyant show, and instead you see three black silhouettes bent over laptops, but the moment they hit play, you're blown away. That anti-idol mentality is evident in how they present themselves. No fictional storyline, no fantasy kingdom across every music video. Their conceptual universe focuses on concrete things: city life, concrete blocks, self-discovery, anxiety, anger. It's one reason they've drawn fans tired of over-manufactured concepts. 3RACHA promises a collective of artisans who compose, produce, and control their musical identity. Their DNA runs through around 90% of Stray Kids songs, so comparisons to other K-pop groups usually feel off. Stray Kids stood out from day one as self-produced, while many others rely heavily on external songwriters. Some critics have even hailed them as the future of JYP or the agency's hidden blueprint. You might think it's just marketing hype, but if you dig deeper, you sense it's genuine. Meanwhile, 3RACHA's never stopped experimenting. They write most of the official releases, but they also dabble in personal side projects: SKZ Player, SKZ Record, where they drop less mainstream material, sometimes super emotional, sometimes purely rap. Tracks like Zone, Wish You Back, or Streetlight show how they refuse to lock themselves into a single style. These often appear on YouTube in rougher videos, black and white images, or a simple background, giving them a space to vent, experiment, and invite fans into their creative world. Visually, it's minimalist. Usually it's a street corner, a parking lot, some dusty warehouse. You'll see Changbin spitting a fierce rap, Han floating over a melody, and Bang-chan tapping away on a laptop. That refusal to rely on slick packaging makes their work feel more credible. You get the sense that sonic architecture is the priority. They work hand in hand with JYP's sound engineers, checking every track, sniffing out any off notes, and rendering 10 different versions of a chorus just to find the punchiest one. That perfectionism helps them transcend borders and win international fans too. Ultimately, 3RACHA is a form of resistance against the typical idol blueprint. They're part of the system while also dismantling it from within. They carry an entire group on their backs, yet remain humble, quick to dodge compliments. Fans often joke that 3RACHA made the usual rapper/singer/dancer labels obsolete because they basically do it all. That's an exaggeration, but not by much.
Spiky. Ow, ow. Like a true course in demolition. Redesign myself in high definition. Now I glitch like a Gucci virus. Custom coded can't uninvite us. Plastic nerves, gold core. Rewired the pain, now I ask for more. Every system wants to know the file. But babe, I'm couture, not trial. Silk armor, acid touch. I don't glitch, I launch. Didn't come to fix the code. I came to own the punch. C tier LF, I'm the upgrade you can't trust. Booted beauty, chaos crust. Rebuilt in diamonds and dust. Swipe right on danger sweet. Walking glitches, leaving heat. Sister looks so full glam, no flux. restricted. They said too much, now I branded. Mood board, me caption, can't stand it. I don't download validation, I stream my own salvation. Permanently do not disturb, upgraded undeterred. Neon spine, razor grace, I carve my name in interface. Built from glitch and zero shame, darling, I renamed the game. See, zero, upgrade you can't trust. Upgrade you can't trust. Booted beauty, chaos crust. Rebuilt in diamonds and dust. No gods, just lux.
This isn't a comeback, it's a custom launch. Hand-stitched, fireproofed, non-refundable.
I'm the myth behind the buzz. Coated films, river fuss. Silicon crown, velvet cuts. Reality bent to my syntax. Control freaks can't relax. Drill, black clocks. Now watch me crash with class. It's a custom launch, hand-stitched, fireproof, non-refundable. I'm the myth behind the buzz, coated femme with zero fuss, silicone crown velvet cuts. Cluts, reality bent to my syntax, control freaks can't relax. Intro alt deluxe. Now watch me crash with class.
One word keeps coming up about stray kids, self-made, and it's not just talk. A prime example is their in-house platforms, SKZ Player and SKZ Record, where each member can drop demo solos, covers unofficially but openly backed by 3RACHA. Think of it like the group's phantom label. It's neither official nor a JYP sublabel, but a creative space endorsed by the agency. From the start, 3RACHA spearheaded this approach. In September 2018, they released Zone, a raw, intense rap track where CB97, Spear B, and J1 shout about their state of mind right after officially debuting, "We're still in the zone, no sleep, keep grinding." The instrumental bangs hard. The video is minimalistic pure gold for anyone who followed them on SoundCloud, and a revelation for fans who only knew their mainstream stuff. Gradually, other members joined in. Changbin shared Streetlight, a brooding rap about feeling alone he lights up others, but remains in darkness himself. Han put out several personal pieces through SKZ Record, like Close or Wish You Back, sometimes dealing with heavier emotions. Bang Chan tried a piano and voice track called I Don't Want to Admit, which hit fans right in the feels. These releases just pop up on YouTube, no major promotions, sometimes with homemade clips or shaky subtitles. The aim is pretty clear: test songs that might not fit a studio album, offer a personal outlet to the members, and keep a direct connection with fans. It's basically the SoundCloud ethos of 2017, but under the Stray Kids banner this time, no marketing approval needed, no push for chart-topping singles, just pure creation. Here you also see how 3RACHA catalyzes the rest of the group. Chan usually supervises recording, helps mix, while Changbin and Han consult on flows or lyrics. Members who don't produce often jump in to try new things. Felix rapped in English, Hyunjin choreographed a contemporary dance piece, Lee No set up a routine to a punchy Stray Kids track, and so on. All of it is compiled under SKZ Player or SKZ Record, eventually merging partly into SKZ Replay in 2022. It's another way 3RACHA breaks the "we're idols, we drop one album a year, that's it" mold. Instead, they pour music out non-stop, show behind-the-scenes glimpses, and prove they're far from factory-made. It works. Fans love watching a track's spontaneous evolution, every little misstep, every rough take. K-pop might be a hyper-systematized world, but Stray Kids found a loophole: keep self-producing, no matter what. From 2024 onward, they've also ventured into more ambitious collaborations. There's the single Lose My Breath with Charlie Puth, co-written and co-produced by 3RACHA, which even made a buzz on the Billboard Hot 100. Another track, You, featuring Tableau on their mixtape Hop. Han's rumored to be working with Diljit Dosanjh, merging K-pop with Punjabi music. All of which strengthens the idea that 3RACHA has no borders. It's crazy to think this all started with 3 trainees huddled over a mic in a tiny room, driven by sheer passion. Today, they're inviting established international artists to team up, still retaining their creative freedom. That says a lot about the credibility they've earned. JYP doesn't treat them like a standard idol group anymore. They treat them like real producers with a seat at the table. 3RACHA essentially built their own studio, their own phantom label, letting them push boundaries, go wild, and keep everyone guessing. As we said, many see 3RACHA as the keystone of Stray Kids and also a strategic asset for JYP. Beyond composing, they're beginning to mentor new trainees, produce for other projects, and expand their influence. Bang Chan, for instance, helped coach younger talents on a survival show in 2021. The label quickly realized Chan has a knack for teaching, a perfect resource for shaping the next generation. There are also rumors that Changbin wrote for other idols, staying off the official credits or using side arrangements, like he's testing out different styles or quietly lending a hand. Han, meanwhile, isn't shy about jumping on underground rap collabs away from the limelight, feeding his SoundCloud spirit. They don't brand it as 3RACHA featuring X, it's more subtle, more behind the scenes. In the last few years, the industry has officially acknowledged them. All three became regular members of the Korean Music Copyright Association, thanks to their huge number of songwriting credits. That's a major milestone recognition as top-tier composers, not just idols messing around. It signals a shift. The K-pop world is finally admitting that a group can thrive with its own in-house creative team without a huge external writing collective. Meanwhile, Stray Kids is smashing it worldwide. Their tours sell out, and they're climbing bestseller lists. They released mixtape Domin AT in March 2025 to mark their 7th anniversary, proving they haven't lost their fire. Naturally, 3RACHA oversaw it all, showing that 7 years after those first SoundCloud drops, their spark is still alive. So are they really JYP's hidden matrix? Cynics might say the label is just exploiting a gimmick. Hey, look, our group does everything on its own, how unique. But looking deeper, it's clear that it's really 3 people who impose their style and rhythm, pulling the company into a new era. They don't just produce Stray Kids, they inspire future trainees, stack up collaborations, and push creative boundaries that might have been vetoed by the label if not for their grit. The real question is whether they'll ever formalize a 3RACHA label at JYP or stick to this hush-hush status. Fans dream about a 3RACHA entertainment that would nurture young producers. The trio, however, stays quiet. Chan is the most talkative. He occasionally mentions in live streams is a desire to share his platform more, to help new musicians. But he's already swamped with Stray Kids activities. Regardless, the 3RACHA effect is undeniable. They've shown you can dominate the K-pop scene and still keep creative control. They brought topics close to their hearts: mental health, anxiety, identity into a genre known for polish and perfectionism. And that might be 3RACHA's biggest success, injecting genuine artistic freedom and authenticity into an industrial system. Moral of the story? You can be 3 nerds in black hoodies hunched over a laptop and end up spearheading one of K-pop's powerhouse agencies. All it takes is sheer persistence, belief in your tracks, and tossing out a few well-aimed 1, 2, 3RACHA get spotlight.
Heads up, the outro is gonna be in my actual voice because I ran out of credits for the voiceover, so apologies in advance for the aggressively French accent. You've been warned. 3RACHA isn't some hidden Easter eggs buried deep in liner's note. It's a source code of everything you hear in Stray Kids. The hard-hitting sounds, the provocative lyrics, the beats that burst through your speakers. That's all them. No ghostwriting team, no mysterious Swedish producer hiding behind an alias. Just 3 guys, a studio, and a surgical level instinct. And if you've stuck with me up till now, it means that you didn't just listen to an episode, you've tapped into the whole new way of understanding music. Next month, we're diving headfirst into Dance RACHA, the ones who turned every stage into a battlefield. Bodies, rhythm, pure instinct, the soldier of visual impact. Time to get your cardio ready. And if you're craving for more, subscribe to Cappuccino Croissant on your favorite platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you pump your beats. Catch me on Instagram, TikTok, etc., Harmonie De Mieville, where I'm dropping behind-the-scenes clips, music breakdown, and probably too many cups of cold coffee. All of my books are available in paperback and in ebook format on Google Books and Amazon. Fiction, deep dives, and sarcasm from page 5 onward. My music, obviously, it's waiting for you on every platform, neatly sandwiched between production and breakdowns. And if you want to support the podcast, I mean genuinely, concretely, with a gesture that say, I need more of this, the link is in the description or in capcroissantmedia.com. Because here, we're not just talking subunit, we're talking about the voice inside the machine. See you soon. Take care.
Cappuccino, white crock, mines, brewed hot, served raw. No sugar, no filter. Sip, think, repeat, repeat, repeat.